up YouTube? It's ICU, and in today's video we have a rather massive unboxing and review for you guys. It's the iRobot Roomba S9 Plus. And that plus is what makes this box so big, because of course robot vacuums are relatively small, but if you'll notice in the top left-hand corner, it actually has a clean base, which was first introduced with its predecessor, the i7 Plus. And that essentially empties the bin of the robot automatically. So you no longer have to deal with all of the fuss associated with emptying your robot vacuum, further automating the cleaning process. Again, it sounds kind of silly. I've had the i7 Plus since it launched though, and I can tell you it is by far the best Roomba I have ever owned, just for that one single fact alone, that it empties itself. You no longer have to deal with all of the mess or fuss, again, associated with emptying the bin of a robot vacuum, which sounds very trivial and like a first world problem, but I assure you it can get rather disgusting, especially if you have pets and or kids. Again, sometimes it's just gross to have to empty that, and also when you do go to empty it, you get kind of that splashback effect of dust, debris, dirt flying back in your face. And if you're sensitive in any way and or you have allergies, you'll definitely know what I'm talking about, and you will appreciate the clean base on either this new S9 Plus or its predecessor, again, the i7 Plus. Now this thing differs from its predecessor in a number of key ways, all of which basically stem from its massive redesign. And it has seemingly flown under the wire, but this thing is truly the evolution of the i7 Plus. Now if you'll notice here on the front, we do have a profile picture of the device. It is the first time that iRobot has moved beyond the traditional circular robot vacuum design. We now have a new D shape, and that basically allows for enhanced edge and corner cleaning. And when I mean enhanced, I mean really, truly, honestly, enhanced edge and corner cleaning. It's able to easily follow it now thanks to the design, and that also means that the brush bars have been moved up to the front and are now 30% wider, spanning the width of the bottom of the robot. It just makes sense. And this new design also means that we have an improved dust bin. It's been redesigned. It has a capacity of 550 milliliters, and once it fills up, it will actually go to the clean base, empty itself, and resume the job, provided it has enough charge. If it doesn't, it will actually stay at the base and charge up. That's how it's able to do both charging and emptying at that one base. Again, it's able to do both there. And if that wasn't enough, iRobot has even included new features that you won't be able to notice or see. We're witnessing it here now thanks to the IR or infrared lens on my camera and the power of technology. Essentially what it's able to do now is shoot out infrared light in front of the robot and build a map in 3D or three-dimensional space to better gauge its surroundings and have improved performance in low light and no light conditions. According to Brent Hild, who is the senior product manager at iRobot, quote, "It's essentially scanning a volumetric space that's roughly equivalent to the size of the robot, using two planes of infrared light that project in front of it, with one plane higher than the other and both parallel to the floor. Those planes of infrared light bounce off the objects in front of the Roomba, allowing the sensors to know its distance from it. Thanks to those two light planes, the robot can see anything ranging from about a size of a centimeter and up." Absolutely fantastic stuff. And like I said, this just further adds to the case of why the S9 is better than the i7, which we'll talk about more toward the end of this video. And it even has imprint link technology to work with the Braava Jet M6. It's the brand new mopping robot that iRobot launched alongside the S9 Plus. We have it right here, and we are actually going to do some content on that guy as well, so be sure to stay tuned. Subscribe if you have yet to for full coverage on the Braava Jet M6 Plus. This thing is amazing as well. But back to the S9 Plus, it also has a new edge brush. You know, that little thing that spins on basically every iRobot Roomba ever? Yeah, that has finally been redesigned. It now has a reduced RPM, so that way it doesn't push things around as much, and the net result is a better experience, or a better cleaning experience on hard surfaces. Also, the Clean Base has a minor redesign. The charging pins and the exhaust port have been shifted and moved up. But beyond that, it actually has a new filter for what iRobot is calling an anti-allergen system that essentially is able to capture 99% of dust, pollen, dirt, mold, dander, everything you can think of to prevent it from re-entering the air. That's really critical if, like I mentioned toward the beginning of this video, you fall into that sensitive group or someone who just has allergies. Now, it also, finally, to cap things off, has 4 times improved suction over its predecessor, the i7 Plus. Now guys, this video, I didn't really brand it as a comparison between its predecessor, but that really is the gist of it. That's what's changed with the S9 Plus. And now let's go ahead and get into the unboxing experience because I'm so excited to actually talk about this thing and unbox it. On the front, we just have a profile picture of the device itself, as well as the Clean Base for charging and, of course, emptying purposes. And the left and right just have a visual representation of the emptying process. Of course, it doesn't look like that while you're emptying it, but you can kind of see how it empties into a separate bag right there. And the back of it just showcases the design from the bottom perspective, but that's perfect because that's how we're going to open it anyway. You can see things like the increased brush bar size right there. Again, 30% larger, spanning basically the width of the device. And we also have that improved side brush as well. So using my knife now, I'm gonna go ahead and cut the plastic seal up at the top, and we're going to open this guy up. We have 2 flaps right here. And now we can go ahead and lift this lid up and open these flaps like so. If I can prevent this thing from falling back on itself, we'll be in business. Okay, there we go. So we have this little cardboard guard that prevents any of the contents from really shifting toward the top too much. And at the bottom, we have the robot itself. You can see that if you just get the S9, this is basically the size of the box you get. Relatively small, right? I mean, in comparison. So let's go ahead and set this off camera. Right above that, we have a box that has a picture of a plug as well as a gear. So this is basically just your accessories. Let's go ahead and open this up. You have an extra dirt bin right here, or dirt bag, whatever you want to call it. And to the left, we have an additional filter right here. This is an awesome filter that traps the majority of allergens. So not only when you're vacuuming, but also, as I mentioned, the Clean Base now has a new filter that keeps it locked in when emptying the contents of the bin now too. And to the right of it, we do have an extra brush bar with that all new redesign. It looks really cool when it's not on or attached to the robot. Now, instead of the bristles right here being flush with basically the surface, the mounting surface right here, you can see there is actually, if we get a close up, there is actually a little screw right here, and there has been in the past as well. Normally these bristles have been flush with this piece, as I mentioned, the mounting piece, but now it extends up beyond and kind of angled, so that way this thing is much more effective and it can spin less frequently while still being as effective, but not, here's the big catch, not disrupting smaller debris and material that's on harder surfaces. So a really awesome redesign of this here too. Now we also have the charging cable for the Clean Base right here. So let's go ahead and set these off to the side now. And finally, we do have the giant Clean Base. So I'm going to try to take this out. It's going to be a little bit difficult to keep things in shot, but we're just going to have to do it like this. So I'm off camera right now. I'm going to remove this big box that everything came in, and I'm gonna set things up and we'll take a closer look. All right, so here we have the Clean Base. I'm just going to use my knife again to cut through the tape that's actually securing this plastic wrap, protecting it, and we're going to take that off now. And there we go. We have the new Clean Base. And like I said, this thing does feature a minor redesign toward the bottom. In addition to having kind of a bronzish color around this band right here, maybe a titanium color. That has also shifted now to denote that this is an S9 instead of an i7 Plus, and that matches the actual robot itself. We also have that new and improved anti-allergen system. So let's go ahead and turn this guy around right here. That's what we see right here. I'm gonna go ahead and open this up. You can see that the bags go in just like so, and I'm going to give you guys a top-down view of that as well, just to show you how easy it is to actually put in and take out that bag right there. The process is very similar, actually identical to the i7 Plus. All right, centering it in frame again, let's go ahead and walk through this. So here are the two charging contacts. Here is the port or the exhaust where the debris from the bin is going to be emptied up and into the bag at the top, which of course this just opens up like so. It is spring loaded and it pops down just like that. We have a little LED indicator right here. This will let you know when the S9 is charging and when the bag needs to be emptied inside of this Clean Base unit itself. And down below at the bottom, we do have that IR window, and that's how the robot is going to find and dock itself on the Clean Base. And if we just flip this around over on the back here, this is where you're going to wrap the cable around to actually get it flush to the wall. And right here toward the bottom is how you plug it in. So that's basically an overview of the Clean Base and how that functions. Let's take a look at the robot now. All right, so using my knife once again, we're just going to cut this plastic seal, and we're going to open the box up to reveal the S9 sitting directly on top. This is a gorgeous looking robot. I absolutely love the way this looks. Again, with its bronze and or titanium finished top, it just looks magnificent, and its all new D-shaped design. Again, this thing is a stunner. If we're purely talking about how robots look, this thing would definitely take the cake and it would win. I think it's just a great minimalistic design with elegant touches and finishes throughout. Let's go ahead and take the robot out of the box now. And beneath it, we just have a little info packet. You can see here, it just walks you through the process of setting the robot up and everything inside of the application. It really couldn't be any easier. Again, after you get the Clean Base set up and positioned properly, you need to put the robot on it. You just open the application after downloading it from the App Store, and you set it up following the on-screen prompts, which I'm going to walk you guys through right now, or I'm actually just going to have playing right now. Again, it really couldn't be any easier. It's all very self-explanatory. iRobot does a fantastic job of this. They're honestly like the Apple of robots, in my opinion, or at least consumer level robots for cleaning purposes. All right, now let's go ahead and remove this and take a closer look at the robot itself. I'm also going to set this off to the side. And here we go, the star of the video, the S9. So you can see a pretty hefty exhaust section actually in the back, this kind of cheese grater cutout right here. This is likely to accommodate the extra suction power that we have here. Again, a 4 times improvement over its predecessor. And you'll notice, obviously, we do have the all-new D shape, but like I said, there are several other things that have been incorporated into this redesign. For instance, we can now just open up that little top bronze section right there, and we can lift out the bin just like that. It's super easy if you need to empty it by yourself without the assistance of the Clean Base, or if you get the model that doesn't include the Clean Base, because it actually is cheaper if that's the case. So to empty it, they've made it incredibly easy. You just lift the handle up and you just push this little bin icon right here, and boom, there you go. The bin opens up like so. And you can see that this green piece is actually a silicone piece that moves way or gives way when the suction inside of the Clean Base is activated to again transfer the contents to the Clean Base. And we also have the filter right up here too that we can just pop open like so. You kind of have to apply a little bit of force, but once you do, It's super easy to just pop out, slide in a new one, and push it down, and then just replace it like so. So just popping it back inside of its little compartment and shutting the lid. It's as easy as that. We now have the 3 primary buttons up in the top right, because of course normally they're in the center of the robot, but because of this redesign, now they are in the top right. And actually just feeling this feels like real metal. Again, this is a very, very premium product with a premium price tag. Of course, if you're interested in the S9, you know what I'm talking about. But this is real metal, which I'm really surprised and impressed with. And then we do have the camera up here that all iRobots since 2015, or all the newer higher end ones, have actually incorporated to assist in the room mapping process. And we have the front slam bar as well that will help it when running into walls. Now on the bottom, like I said, we have a few things. We have those new brush bars. We can just take them out like so. These are significantly bigger than the brush bars found in the i7 Plus or the i7. And we also have that sidebar that sticks up that I talked about previously. You have your charging contacts, swivel wheel right here. You have your edge or cliff sensors around it, as well as your carpet sensor. And this is the automatic dirt disposal port right there. And let's go ahead and just set these back in. And we're going to talk about the robot in action now. Now, one of the most rigorous tests I could come up with that provides a wide array of varying debris sizes, I took crushed up tortilla chips, oats, chili flakes, and black pepper and sprinkled it on the floor in a concentrated area. And the S9 was actually able to pick up the majority of it in its very first pass through. In fact, all of the debris was picked up, including the fine black pepper particles in the first pass in the area that it actually covered, which now, thanks to the improved brush bars on the bottom, is the majority of the bottom surface area because those bars span the width of it. So that's fantastic news. What's more, it actually didn't scatter debris like past iRobots and other competing robot vacuums do with their side brushes, which are notorious for scattering debris on hard surfaces. This is because it sits up above the floor slightly and it's angled, so it's able to capture the debris and just slightly push it in front of the robot for it to then just glide over and pick up and deposit nicely into its bin. Overall, the S9 did a fantastic job with this test. It was able to do it much more efficiently than past iRobot models, thanks to all of the design changes and improvements that we've talked about in this video thus far. In fact, in just a few minutes, it was able to clean 99% of the room. I was blown away. The only thing that it wasn't able to fully capture is just right here where the lip of the fireplace actually is, or rather where the hardwood transitions into tile in front of the fireplace. That's because, of course, it is a different elevation for the robot to actually deal with, and it wasn't able to provide a nice suction or seal in that zone. It was able to get a lot of it though, which I was surprised by, simply because the brush on the side brush was able to push the debris that lined that lip on the hardwood floor in front of the robot, and it was able to then just pick it up. So I'm sure multiple pass-throughs would result in all of the debris being 100% gone, but this is something that not even an upright would be able to deal with, because you simply can't get a suction or a seal because of that raised up bump or lip prior to the tile there. Again, the S9 passed this test with flying colors, and in just day-to-day use, I've noticed that this model works exceptionally well over its predecessor. What we initially thought was just a minor facelift and design change over its predecessor has proved to be much more than that. It's the evolution of the iRobot Roomba series. Seriously, I can't talk this thing up enough. It has so much incredible technology cram-packed into it. We haven't even really scratched the surface because, of course, this is a smart vacuum. You can do things like schedule certain days of the week and certain times to actually go out and clean. It also, of course, creates smart maps thanks to a couple of things like the camera, as well as the new and improved 3D sensor system that we talked about previously. And it's able to basically create a floor plan of your entire entire house, and you can send it out to vacuum specific rooms or the entire thing. And of course, with the addition of iRobot's new Braava M6, you can actually send the two robots out together. The S9 will go out first and vacuum to make sure things are picked up, and the M6 will go out and mop. What a fantastic combination to make sure that your room and or rooms are fully clean. This is a completely automated process, and iRobot's taking it a step further with the introduction of this S9. I absolutely love it. Again, this thing from top to bottom has been fully reworked, and in fact, I actually really love the aesthetics of it as well, which we haven't talked about too much in this video, but it's just a very clean and minimalistic design that I very much approve of. It just looks better, newer, and more streamlined than past generations, even the bottom of it. Don't let the S9's name fool you. This is not iRobot's Apple S series equivalent update over the i7. This is a full new robot that stands on its own two wheels and is the best robot iRobot has ever produced, in my opinion. I definitely recommend you guys check it out. Just head on over to iRobot.com for everything from availability to pricing and more information on the robot. And of course, be sure to subscribe if you have yet to. That way you'll be notified when I release new videos on new iRobot products. And until next time, this is ICU signing out.